Hi, it's the Lipstick Gal. Thank you so much for watching today. Time for some February favorites. There's a couple of fails in here. It's mostly favorites. I feel like I've been doing a really good job of getting products that, first of all, are the sorts of products I'm interested in, as well as ones that have been working really well. And I think that says a lot to me really trying to be very careful as to what I let in. Let me start with non-makeup items. This is the first thing right here. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this is just a spray bottle. It's a spray bottle, and you might have seen bottles like this. This is from the brand Pattern, but for me it's the super fine mist. I love it because my hair is curly, and in the morning after I get out of bed, I'm doing everything I can, sleeping on a silk pillowcase, you know, carefully putting my hair in a silk scrunchie to kind of keep it from kind of going everywhere. And when I get up in the morning, sometimes my hair can look a little, and I don't want to wet it every day because it takes my hair forever to dry. So what I do is I mist it with water, and I've been using just a regular spray bottle. I didn't know what I was missing until I tried one of these. And oh my goodness, it's so much easier because instead of getting like one part that's like completely wet and another part that's dry, this mists so evenly. The other thing that's nice is if you just, you know, keep pressing, it just continues to release like an aerosol. I mean, I am beyond impressed. Wow. And it's just water. Now, if you have curly hair like me and you want to use something like this with a little bit of product, mix in a little leave-in conditioner, a little next day refresh with your water, you could do that too. But right now I have just water in here and it's great. So I'll mist my hair. I'll put just the smallest amount of product through my hair and over the top of my damp hair, just kind of reform my curls. This is day 3 hair for me, and my hair never looks this good. I think a lot of it is how I'm able to wet my hair without getting it too wet. This Pattern spray bottle, I love, 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 love. All right, I picked up a new fragrance. I've been trying, okay, I'm notorious for keeping those little tiny samples and never using them, but I finally pulled one out, and I pulled out one from Valentino, and it was called Born in Roma. And oh my goodness, it's exactly what I love in a fragrance. Slightly floral, very sweet. I love a sweet fragrance. And I went looking for it on, because I wasn't buying makeup. I'm like, well, I'll get myself a new fragrance. They were out of the 1 ounce. If I bought the 1.7 ounce, it'd take me forever to get through it. So I decided to start with this. This is the purse spray of Born in Roma. Oh man, it smells really good. So I tend to like things that are a little on the sweeter side. This definitely is not quite as sweet. It's a little bit more elegant without getting to be too floral. I am not good at explaining like fragrance notes, so I'll put them up on the screen here for you. But man, I have really been liking this and using it every day. And I also think like this silicone packaging with all of the rock studs on here is super cool and very Valentino. All right, this is different, but another fragrance I have really been liking, and so have my kids. They're coming into my bathroom every day to use it, is this. Okay, so this is the Ellis Brooklyn Peaches Body Mist. This is one that they offered to send me in PR, so I didn't pay for this. But this is exactly, this is like a hit of nostalgia with a little bit of elevation. If you spent any time, you know, in Bath and Body Works or Victoria's Secrets or any of that in the 90s when body sprays were huge. It's not that they're not huge now, they've just changed. I remember when I was a kid, it was more like fragrances and like scented soaps or shampoos. I remember girls like flicking their hair so you could smell their, you know, Clairol shampoo or their Herbal Essence shampoo. That was kind of like the sense we were getting as, you know, tweens and teens. And then like people started releasing affordable body mists and stuff. And dude, I went from Love's Baby Soft to like the Bath and Body Works stuff, and I loved it. So this I feel like is a little bit more elegant in the fact that it still has that kind of sweet peachy smell, but it comes in a glass bottle. I love that. So I don't remember what the notes are for this, but it's not sweet as much as it has a really light fragrance to it. It almost smells like something you would use in the shower. I have really been liking this, and I know it's not good, but guess what I do? I kind of spray this in my hair. Not a lot, like I'll spray like 1 or 2 pumps and then I'll just kind of walk through it. I know alcohol is not good for your hair, but I'm just like, I like the way it smells. But both my kids love this and they're forever in my room reaching for it. We've been liking this a lot. All right, from there, let's talk about the 2 things that did not work for me. And maybe it's, I haven't given it enough time and I need to keep trying it, but I got this from Half Magic. All right, so this is supposed to be a silicone guide for eyeliner. You could also use it as like a lash shield if you hold it up here while you're putting mascara to keep mascara from getting on your lashes. But the idea is that you line this up like this and then you follow the guide. Now, I think the reason, and then there's 2 angles for this. Like if you go this way, it's, I don't remember which one is like a more of aggressive swoop, like the shorter end or the longer end. I'm going the wrong way. Here we go. I feel like the longer end is less aggressive than the shorter one. Here's what I found. Because I sit here, I have a vanity and the only mirror I have here at my vanity is like my antique hand mirror. And I can't hold this and do this and then draw a line. And the minute I put this on the counter and I'm looking down and I'm trying to do this, I feel like I have hair in my face. So I think this might work better. And I'm not saying that this is bad. I'm just saying it's not useful to me because I have all of my makeup here and I have a table in front of me, but I don't have a mirror in front of me. I think if I were standing at the bathroom, this would be easier. And I'm like, I don't know, maybe 12 feet away from the bathroom, but I'm less likely to get up, take my eyeliner with me and this and go and do my eyeliner and come back. I have used it successfully as like a lash shield so that I'm not getting mascara on my eyelid, but I kind of don't care that much and I'm just as happy to take like a dry spoolie or a clean Q-tip and clean up afterwards after the mascara is dry. So this was $10. I would love to know, do you have something like this? Is something like this working for you? Or do you have this specific thing? I really wanted to like this and I was hoping it would make, you know, my winged eyeliner easier. But for me, a lot of it just comes down to, it's kind of like a new tool that hasn't made itself instantaneously useful. So it's kind of like, here's something else. And I'm glad I only have a sample and I've been thinking about this for a long time. This is the NARS Climax Mascara. I got a little NARS gift set. It had a small Laguna bronzer. It had a small NARS red lipstick in there. This and an eyeliner. My oldest took the red lipstick and the bronzer. And I wanted to try this, but you know what? I don't know whether it's because it's the itty bitty size, but look how fluffy this is. I love the size of this. But I could not get any sort of significant bulk. Now maybe there's not enough product in this little teeny tiny trial. Maybe that's what it is. And I also have been kind of like rotating the wand around to make sure that there's enough product distributed through the bristles. But I've used this 3 times and I'm like, that's it? Now I know it takes a while to try a new mascara and see how it works, but I'm expecting, this feels a little bit on the dry side. I didn't get a lot of, like this is claiming to give you like massive lashes. I had very, very sad lashes, very like almost non-existent lashes. So either this is old or there wasn't enough product in here or something, but this does not inspire me to go out and try the full-size Climax mascara. All right, things I can't stop reaching for. I've had this for a while and I kind of put it on hold, but now I'm down to here. Like I can tell like there's a little bit of an air gap here, but this is the most beautiful, and I've been using this kind of like a primer. I know a lot of people will use it as a mix-in or will use it as a highlight, and you certainly can, but I have been putting it down on my skin and it's so pretty. First of all, I like that it's a little bit thicker than some of the other liquid glows like the Hollywood Flawless filter from Charlotte Tilbury or the Elevated Glow from Lisa Eldridge. You could certainly use either one of those. This feels a little bit thicker and a little bit glowier, but it is not as hydrating as the Charlotte Tilbury, and it's not as lightweight as the one from Lisa Eldridge. This feels like a great way to start prepping your skin. I love it. Can't stop reaching for it. Something else that initially was kind of like, well, and it was because the shade wasn't perfect, but the more I wear it, the more I love it, and I'm wearing it today. Okay, so I did not pick up this light reflecting foundation when it first came out. I should have. Man, I see that now. I should have. And my favorite thing to do is to use the Auric Glow Lust, and I use the lightest shade in Morganite, and then I put a little bit of this over the top. That's kind of what I have going on right now. And it is the most beautiful. You can tell, like, it's a little bit darker. Like, here's my natural skin tone, and here is this. It's a little bit darker. I feel like NARS foundations tend to lean a little on the yellow side, and I've never had like a 100% perfect match in NARS. This is it the second lightest shade, Mont Blanc? I think there's a lighter shade, but it's very cool, and I'm not sure that that's what I need here, but I really like the way this sits on the skin. I like the way that it makes my skin look like skin, but still offers some perfection and some coverage. This is stunning. I really, really like. And then I went and I got a full size. I first got this Hourglass concealer in the small size, like the little teeny tiny guy, and I went back and I said, you know what? This Vanish concealer deserves to be in my collection in a full size. This is one of the lighter shades in my collection. I am wearing it today. This is the lightest shade they make in Birch, but this is one stunning, like, full coverage foundation, well, concealer. It is fantastic because it lays down pigment, but it never makes my under eyes look dry. That's what I'm looking for at 49. I want something that's going to sit well, that's not going to settle into the creases, that with a light whisper of powder stays put but provides coverage. This does that, and this is one of those that I liked it enough to go and get another one. And to go from the little tiny guy, like the trial size, to the full size. This is a great concealer. This is one of my new favorite powders. This is the M Cosmetics Portrait Mode. This is a little pressed powder. I've talked about it before. I really like it. But this is a translucent setting powder. It comes with the skinniest little puff, and I like this little guy so much. It's great for, you know, touching up. It's great for setting the full face. I will sometimes like take a small brush like this, you know, kind of roll it across and then hit places that I need. But I really like this setting powder because it looks like nothing. And do you know how many powders, and I can maybe count on my right hand, I can use under the eyes without it looking like, oh, what happened? You know, you just added 10 years to the under eye area. This is one of them. This is really nice. I like the way that it sets my full face, and it makes sure to not look heavy, to not look cakey, doesn't age my under eyes, doesn't make it look dry down here. This is great. I had to order another one because my 16-year-old keeps grabbing this one, and then I find it in her room and I'm like, where's my portrait mode? So she knows that she can borrow it, but she must bring it back. Something else I've been loving that is kind of surprising to me is this. This is the Rougher Sponge. For a long time, for like more than a year now, I've been using these little pink ones from Shop Miss A, the AOA sponges. Like, these are very similar in shape. When they're wet, they're very similar in texture. I feel like this one's just a hair softer. And the reason I even picked this up, first of all, like, I never wash my brushes or my sponges as frequently as I should. I'll just be honest. Okay, I should be washing this every time before I use it, or after I'm done using it. What I do is I usually wash it beforehand. That way when it's fully clean and I bring it out in a towel, it's damp and ready to go for then. But sometimes I just don't have time. And so I'll use a sponge multiple times before I actually go and wash it. And with pink, you can always see when there's foundation in there. And I'm like, ah! And here, I know there's foundation in there, but it's not the first thing I see because it's black. You can tell that it's been used, but there's not like a big glob of like beige right here. Whereas with this, giant globs of beige. So that's me playing a mental trick on myself. The other thing that's cool is that I discovered Rougher is now selling products on Amazon. But this Rougher sponge has been really, really nice. Texturally beautiful. Still in love with the Makeup by Mario Skin Enhancer. Man, this is the perfect way for me to get a little bit of color in the wintertime without looking like I'm wearing too much. Still really, okay, when I first tried this, I was like, I don't know, this may not be for me, but the more I use it, the more I love it. And it's the KJH brand, like, glow kit. This is the Hyper Shine kit, and I have the one in light pink. All right, this is the highlight that I'm wearing today. You can really dial this up so it looks like glass, or you can kind of keep it a little bit muted. And I like it on days like today when I'm not wearing a ton of stuff and I want the focus kind of right here, I will bring down the glow. But on the days that I want it to look like glass, you can add more of this clear serum. The idea is you're squeezing the clear serum, mixing it with this pigment here, and they don't just come in like pink. You have bronze, you have gold, you have, I think, topaz. So I think there's 4 shades. And now the kit itself is kind of expensive. She's $75. I almost said $45. No, $75. But it does also come with a brush. So there's 3 parts to this kit. I kind of use this, but I'm forever squeezing out like a small dot of the serum, adding a little bit of this. Let me just show you. It is so beautiful. Like, it's everything that I want in a highlight, and it just looks fabulous. The other thing that's good about this is that, guess what? You can put it on over the top of a set face. If you already have powder on your face or powder blush and you're worried about what happens, no, go for it. You know, glow with wild abandon. So this is kind of what it looks like. It's super glowy. I love that about it. But now that I have some here, let me just add a little bit more. I don't need any more, but I like that it doesn't pick up any of the product I had underneath. Look at that. It's fantastic. I always feel like I accidentally mix up more than I'm actually going to use, and then I feel like I'm wasting. But if I were to do it the way that Katie Jane does, she drops a drop of serum into the jar, uses the brush to mix it in here, then I feel like I get a lot of product on the brush. But yeah, there's multiple ways to use this. It's just beautiful, and I like the look of it because it is shiny, it is glassy, it doesn't bring out my almost 50-year-old texture. This is great, but she's expensive. All right, for blush, man, I finally pulled out, and they're so gooey because I've been using them, the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin. This is the Blush Balms. This is the shade Rosé and Brunch. This one is so pretty. I am wearing this one today. It's pretty. It has a little bit of like maybe a peachiness in there, but it does have very much that rose tone, but it's kind of a rose tone that leans a little bit warm. Another one that I've been reaching for a lot, and I think it's because it's so cool, is this one here from Ritual Defy. And these are all kind of liquid or cream blushes. Like, that's all I've been doing this month. This is the shade Desire, and I like how cool and almost gray plummy it is. Oh, it's so beautiful. I've been liking that a lot, and I'm finally back into the Charlotte Tilbury Matte Beauty Blush Wand, and this is the shade Pillow Talk. And I feel like what's interesting here is we've got a little bit more brown in this, a little bit more gray in this, and a little bit more peach in this, but they give some really beautiful, beautiful cheeks, and you don't really have to work too hard. I feel like they're really easy to do. You don't have to instantly blend. I keep seeing people talking about those Milk water cooling jelly tints. They look interesting, but I don't want to work that hard with blush, and I don't need a fraction of an inch between looks really good and looks like clown cheeks. And I'm not a makeup artist, so I want something that's easier, and these sorts of products that don't instantly set allow me to blend and really look lovely on the cheeks. This is what I'm going for right now. I have been ridiculously lazy when it comes to eye makeup. This whole month I've either been wearing no eyeshadow on my non-filming days or one eyeshadow. Today I have 2 on. I have something in the inner corner and something else over the lid, but I really have been leaning into my single shadows. The one that I'm wearing today that I've been using a lot this month is one of these RMS eye lights. They come in multiple shades. They're little squeezy tubes of color. These are so pretty. These are so pretty. I have 3 shades, but this is the one that I tend to reach for the most. Look how pretty that is. It doesn't add any extra texture to my eyelid. You could buff it out. Very little goes a long way. And the nice thing is when this sets, it doesn't budge. Now, I don't have particularly oily eyelids, but I don't feel like I need to put an eye primer down. I can use this straight from the tube. And as long as I'm not getting it wet, she stays. It's fabulous. Something else I've been using a lot are these solo shadows from Merit. I have 2 of these, but this is the one that I can't stop reaching for. This is the shade Mid-Century. And this is so nice because it's very creamy. Now, this is like a really heavy swatch. It doesn't have to be that dark. I usually end up wearing it like this, buffed right in the crease. I use it with their #2 brush, which I really love. It's a double-ended brush. I pick up the color on this, kind of buff it in where I want it, pick up a little bit here, use it for a little eyeliner, and then I'm done. Another one of those that when she sets, she doesn't move. It is fantastic. All right, beyond that, I have been using these Color Chameleons from Charlotte Tilbury quite a lot. I got a duo set in my Beautylish Lucky Bag. This is the first time in a long time I've been reaching for like an eye crayon, and I'm like, wait, who am I? So this is Pillow Talk Smoky, I think, or Smoky Pillow Talk, and then just the shade Pillow Talk, but this duo came together. Love these. And then my Victoria Beckham eyewears. Man, like one of these or both of them, they are beyond easy to use. So easy. They blend out beautifully. I have 2 shades. I have kind of like the darker shade here in Pecan and this almost beigey peachy shade in Trench. But do you see how neutral and easy these are? These take like no effort at all. This is swipe it on your eye, blend it out with your finger, and goodbye. If I've been wanting any sparkle, I did pick up these 2 guys from Moira. These are the Chroma Light Shadows. So I wore this one in my last video. This is the shade Sugar Crush. And they really remind me texturally of the Moon Dust shadows from Urban Decay. This is the one that I have today. This one is Fairy Dust. I have it on the inner corner right here, but these are so pretty. Even when you tap it over like something else, like I have it here over this one from Merit. They're just pretty. Now there is some sparkle fallout. These do better if you're putting down like a primer or like a little bit of a glitter glue, but that's true even for the ones from Urban Decay. These are really affordable. I got them at 30% off during Valentine's Day. Yeah, I've been very happy, me and 1 shadow or me and 2 shadows all month long. I have been kind of lazy, and maybe it's the fact that it's the end of winter, there's not a lot of sunlight, I really can't be bothered. I'm hoping to start playing with more color when things start to warm, just a little bit more. I've been living in tubing mascara. Still really liking the Thrive Liquid Lash Extensions. I kind of want to get the brown one, but I've been using the black one a lot, and I finally cracked into this right here from Hamish. Normally, I use their curling formula. It's their Smudge Stop, and this one here is called their Long Lash and Volume. This is the one I have on today. I did not curl my lashes. This has more of that traditional type of brush. It's not too bulky, it's not too much, but it's still a tubing formula. I picked this up on sale, I think at Stylovana. I think it was like $7. Normally these are about $14. I still have an unopened tube of the curling one. The curling one comes with kind of like a curved wand. This one's different, but they both have that tubing formula. And if you can get them on sale, you know, for less than $14, it's my favorite tubing mascara. Not my favorite affordable, my favorite tubing mascara. And I'll tell you, this volume one, I feel like I'm getting, you know, some good volume. I think you might be able to see them more. I have really straight lashes. They're just slightly going up because I kept kind of brushing them through and kind of holding them there. If I were to have curled my lashes and I was like, ain't got time for that today, you would see this a lot more. But this gives some really lovely but believable length as well as volume. The other one tends to do more curling on its own. I think it's the shape of the brush, since it has kind of like that curve, you can kind of hold it there and kind of brush it through, but neither of them get really clumpy. Neither of them get to be too much, but it definitely is a beautiful mascara, and it's not too crispy. It's not too crunchy. It's not too like set your eyelashes in hairspray. Wow. These nano pencils, I've never tried a brow pencil this small. So the first one I got was this one here from CoverGirl. This is the Clean Fresh Brow, the 1mm nano pencil crayon. And I have the shade medium brown. It is so itty bitty, teeny tiny. The smallest little, tiniest hair-like strokes. Then I saw that Benefit came out with one, and this one here is called Precisely Your Brow Detailer, or My Brow Detailer. And this is 8 millimeters. It's even smaller. This one here is the one from Benefit. This one here is the one from, I pressed a little harder here, but I was pressing so hard I snapped the tip off. The one thing that's interesting is you'll notice there's like a little plastic kind of shield or guard around this so that you can like roll up the product. There it goes, it was rolling up, you can roll it down, but there still is that little plastic sleeve there. I think it's because this is such a fragile formula. I don't find that this one is as fragile. They both have nice spoolies on them, but I prefer the one from Benefit. I feel like they have a nicer spoolie. I feel like this one's a little bit warmer in medium brown. This one here is in shade, I think it's just shade number 4. So it's a little bit cooler. So if you're looking for a cooler one, you might like the one from Benefit better, but this is $12 and this is $25. And you're getting what? We're still getting ridiculously small amounts. I'll have to look them up, but like hardly anything here, hardly anything. And here you're getting more. So you're getting more product. And so what I'm probably gonna do is I'm probably gonna try and grab one of these ones from CoverGirl in a slightly deeper shade, a slightly cooler shade. I'm wearing both of them in the eyebrows today and I feel like they've been looking really great. But these are so good for like, you know what? I have that one spot like right there. And it like fills it in and I don't ever feel like I have to keep going over it. And if you're curious, let me grab one of those small pencils like a Brow Wiz. Hang on. Okay, this is the difference. So these two guys here on the end, one of these is from Beauty Pie, the other one is from e.l.f. I don't have a NYX or an Anastasia Brow Wiz, but they're this size. And then this one here from Benefit, the one in the black with the little plastic tip at the end, is the 0.8 millimeters, and this is the 1 millimeter. But do you see the size difference of the tips? You're getting so much more precision. And I had never tried one of these little teeny tiny nano pencils. I didn't even know they were out there. And someone kept saying, is it like the one from Huda Beauty? And I was like, wait, Huda has one? I had no idea. But this is a, for me, game changer. And to get one at the drugstore, yes. I love the Persona 24-hour waterproof eyeliner and they came out with new shades and I picked up one of them. This is the shade Graphite. It's so pretty because it's a little bit sparkly. I don't know that you'll be able to see that. Let me see if I can give you a better swatch here. And it's kind of like a grayed out brown. So there's some sparkles, a little bit of shine to this, but not glittery. I have the one in brown, I have the one in bronze, and I like this shade here because it's not a black, it's not a brown. I don't know how many dozen brown liners I have. I must have like 3 dozen brown liners. But this is great. And when this formula dries, she stays. It's very creamy. It's very comfortable. I picked this up on the Ulta website. Literally one of my favorite eyeliners on the market and probably out of all of the ones that I really, really like. This one's the most affordable, but still performs at that tippy top place where when I put it there, it stays until I take it off. And with somebody who has a perpetually leaky left eye, that is what I need because I don't want my eyeliner eaten up by my tears. I have really been into wearing a lot of red lips this month. I've been going really kind of light on the eye and leaning into the red lip. And one of my favorite new finds this month, oh my goodness, is this lip pencil. This is the About Face Matte Lip Pencil. And this is the shade Forever Flame. This is great because this is one of those sharpenable but kind of gel pencils. It's a little bit of a cooler red, but it glides. It glides so beautifully. I'm wearing it with the red that I'm wearing today, which is a little bit of a warmer red, but this pairs so beautifully with another one of my favorite lipsticks this month. This is the Hermes satin lipstick in Rouge Piment, and it is stunning. Look at that. They look so good together. So this lipstick is $75 and this is like $12, $14, very affordable. This is in the drugstore section at Ulta. Easy to come by, really, really great quality. The more I try from About Face, the more impressed I am. But also have been loving this. Of course, you know I'm doing that luxury lipstick series. I'll link the entire playlist in the description box down below. But you know I've been kind of really leaning into my bougie lipstick. So another red that I've been loving. I talked about this one in the matte review. This is from Guerlain. This is the Kiss Kiss Tender Matte. And this is the shade Kiss Rouge. at 775, and it's more of a orangey red. So I love this orangey red, so pretty. But this is a matte formula, and this satin one here from Hermes, it's absolutely stunning. So lots of reds this month, you know, simple eye and a bold red lip. These have been great. I also picked up one of these liners from About Face in a different kind of more neutral shade. And this one is called Little. Okay, so this for me is like the perfect pinky nude liner. I mean, like you can tell, mine's a mess. I have been using these a lot. And it goes great with like this lipstick here from Prada. This is the soft matte in the shade Tiepolo. It's a little bit darker than this, but it makes for a really nice defined lip line. You can kind of blur the edge in a little bit, swipe this all over, boom, perfection. Or if I want a little bit more depth to Tiepolo, they work really well together. It also works really well with another lipstick. So either I've been going for like bold reds or kind of like hardly there. This one here from Chanel is the Rouge Coco in the shade Mademoiselle. So it's a little bit darker, but I mean, it's more of a kind of a plum leaning nude where we've got bold here, and then it's kind of like, something easy. I like this because I can throw it on when I just need something comfortable, hydrating. This is really comfortable. This is really comfortable. So after the really bougie, expensive, you know, Prada, Chanel, Hermes, Guerlain lipsticks, I've been going for a little bit more affordable. So this right here is not really affordable. Did you know the prices went up for these? These Juicy Plums from Tarte are now $26. Remember when they were $22 and then they went up to $24 and it's like $24? But this shade here in Honeysuckle is so pretty. Again, it's like one of those hardly there, and I'm wearing it mostly for the hydration and the gloss. You can build it up. It kind of gives a little bit of Clinique Black Honey vibes if that's your style, but if you really want Clinique Black Honey without paying for Clinique Black Honey, might I suggest this one here from e.l.f. This is the Sheer Slick Lipstick, and this is the shade Black Cherry. Oh man, she's so pretty. So it's got a little bit more pigment, but it's very little. It's a little bit shinier. So I've got like nearly nothing lipsticks and like boom, reds. That's kind of what I've been going for much of this month. And I think it's really funny to get to that point where I realize, you know, I kind of want all or nothing. There have been a lot of times this month that I'm just wearing like a clear gloss. Yeah, it's kind of been a lower, slower makeup month for me, but I'm gearing up for spring. Cannot wait. Let me tell the other things I've been enjoying. So I've been doing a lot of reading this month, and oh my goodness, I'm back in love with reading books from Philippa Gregory. I got introduced to Philippa Gregory, I don't know, maybe 20-ish years ago when she wrote The Other Boleyn Girl. And you might remember that book. It was such a fantastic book. And I have a kind of a really interesting love affair with the Tudors and the English Renaissance. So I'd read all of the books having to do with like Henry VIII, with Anne Boleyn, like that season. But what's really interesting is I hadn't really gotten into the kind of generation or two before during the War of the Roses. So Philippa Gregory is a historical fiction writer. She does a lot of research. She will base things on what we know happened for sure, but there's so much that's unwritten. So she of course uses her artistic license to kind of fill in the holes and writes a really compelling story. And the protagonists are almost always women. I mean, I can't think of a single one that I've read. I haven't read all of her books where the protagonist is not a woman. And I absolutely love it. So I started with, I think it was Lady of the Rivers. And that's a whole series about the War of the Roses between the Lancasters and the Yorks, you know, the red and the white roses. Oh my goodness. And if you have seen it, you'll know which story this is, because this is a story if you have ever watched The White Queen or The White Princess on Stars. I kind of got pulled into it by that. It's like, you know, I didn't know these were Philippa Gregory books. Let me go and read them. And so I started reading these. Oh my goodness, they're so good. I think there's 5 or 6 in this series about the War of the Roses. They're really, really good. I'm just finishing up The White Princess right now. Super, super good. Another book that I read recently, and I was going to mention it to you last month and I forgot, is one by Abraham. I think his name is Verghese. I could be saying it wrong, but it's called The Covenant of Water. It is a very long book, but it's one of those books where some writers have an ability, no matter what's happening, good or bad, you just can't put it down. And it's not like it's bad and it's creeping you out, but like there are tragedies that happen in this book over several generations. And there is such a joy and such a delight in the way that he writes that I kept turning the page. I had to know. I like ravenously consumed this book. And it's one of those that I didn't really understand when it first started, because it talks about Southeast Asian culture, like India and different parts of India. And, you know, it was more than 100 years ago. And I was like, okay, but it was on the New York Times bestseller and I had to know. So I read it. And then once I got about like, I don't know, not even a fifth of the way through, I couldn't stop. It was so good. I was up late reading. It was the best. Oh, I loved it so much. That is one of those books where, you know, all of these things are happening and people's lives are being turned upside down. And it's like, oh no. But the truth is, there's something about the joyfulness with which he writes that even though there are moments of sadness, I still walked away going, it was one of the best books I've read in a long time. I don't know, there's something magical about his writing style. I'd like to read another book of his. All right, I have been watching some television. Oh, me and HBO, we have been friends. Because I started watching, I always loved True Detective, like the first season of True Detective. And then I started watching season 2 when it came out, and I could never get through it. It was such a struggle. I couldn't do it. And I still, to this day, I've tried watching the series 3 times. Cannot watch season 2 of True Detective. So I kind of gave up on it. And then when this new season of True Detective came out, it's like, oh my goodness, I have Jodie Foster in it. I love Jodie Foster. And it's set in Alaska. Oh, that sounds so interesting. And so with the Inuit community and with like all of these different things, I was like, this sounds great. Female protagonist. I love stuff like that. So I've watched True Detective season 4. First of all, I love that there's only 6 episodes. It's pretty snappy and it clips right along, and I like that. It's also interesting because it's always set during night, because it's that time of the year where like they're in the Arctic Circle and there is no sunrise and it's only night like for 60 some odd days. Anyway, very intriguing, and I thought it was a really interesting story. I do like those kind of cop shows, so I really enjoyed that. The other show that I just started watching recently, and it's been sitting there in my likes list or my loves list for a while, and I hadn't gotten around to it, was Tokyo Vice. Oh my goodness. And I told my husband, I'm like, there's season 2 is out. I may have to watch without you. And he's like, don't you dare. So he and I are watching it together, but oh my goodness, I am like pulled in. And as of today, I think there's only 4 episodes of the new season of Tokyo Vice out, and we've watched the first one, maybe the first 2. So there's a couple that we still haven't seen, but I'm just like, needs, must, no. All right, so it's starting to warm up where I live. Finally, temperatures are in the low to mid 40s. I'm enjoying that. But me and my sweaters, I'm not wearing coats anymore, but I've been like loving my sweaters, especially the ones I got around my birthday in January. These are cashmere cardigans from Quince. I'll leave the link down below. Just keep in mind it's affiliate link. You don't have to use it, but if you do, it helps my channel. But I'll tell you, I have seen this style of sweater from Lily Silk, from Jenny Kane, from so many other places, from Nottam. And Quince has the most affordable version, but it's still 100% grade A Mongolian cashmere. It's so soft. I just took all of mine out. I've been wearing them nonstop since January. I have 3. I have 1 really long one that's like the boyfriend one, and then 2 that are more hitting like at the waist. 1 is in black and 1 is kind of in oatmeal. And I've been rotating through them, and I just finally put them all through the wash on delicate with a little bit of wool wash, just a little bit of wool wash on cold on delicate. You know, took them out and kind of slightly stretched them out over some towels, and I had them laying on the carpet to dry. Oh my goodness. They came out looking beautiful. I can't wait to wear them again, but it was definitely time to give them a wash. Another sweater I have been obsessed with this whole winter. My mom picked it up for me at the Pendleton store in September when she was visiting. It's this one right here, and I have been wearing this nonstop. Now, I didn't know this when I bought it. Well, my mom bought it for me, but apparently, if you've ever seen the movie The Big Lebowski, and I never have, so I don't even know the character's name, but Jeff Bridges is in a version of this sweater. And it's the Big Lebowski sweater. I had no idea. His is more kind of like that tan oatmeal colors with browns, and I liked the navy aspect of this. It has a really interesting print on it. It has pockets, and it's got a zipper, and I have been like zipping this up. I had to finally unzip it because I'm like, ugh, I'm dying, it's so hot. But this is like a jacket on its own. This is such a heavy duty warm wool sweater. If it's windy outside, I hardly feel it. So me and my cardigans, either my zip up cardi or my button up cardis from Quince, have really been keeping me happy and warm, but not overly warm except for right now. I don't know if it's a hot flash or whether it's just this cardigan, but me and my, you know, like wool and cashmere, I've really been leaning into like sweaters and layers, and I just can't stop. I feel like I'm wearing like my most comfortable clothes, and that's really what I want to do. Thank you so much for watching today. Tell me what your February was like. You know, if there's a favorite book you've been reading, if there's a show you've been loving, if there's a mid-afternoon snack that you just can't stop. String cheese. I need to leave some for the kids' lunches, but tell me what your favorites were. I would love to know. Now, it can be beauty related. If you have a favorite lipstick or a favorite eyeshadow or a favorite, like maybe somebody that you watch on YouTube, who's your favorite? Let me know in the comment section down below. Also, if you had any flops, do not forget to tell me about the flops. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again soon. Bye.